So the Victory League is a completely innovative format. What's different about Victory scoring?
There's nothing different from the Victory scoring to normal Thai boxing scoring. Everything's scored exactly the same. The only difference is the point system. So if you win round 1, you win 1 point. Each round you win a point for the league. And then points are tallied up. You don't lose them points, you keep them points.
If I won the fight by knockout early on, I would score more points, less points?
So for knockouts, it goes down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 2 in the points.
So in the 4th round I'll get 2 points and the 5th round I'll get 2 points?
Yes.
Okay. So what's going to happen in the end then is that's going to reflect who fought better on the whole, not simply who won the fight.
Exactly, yeah.
So you're still going to get credit if you fight really well, win some rounds, you're still in the running. It doesn't mean that you can't win the league because you lost one of the fights.
That's right, yes.
I get it. Okay, so in Victory 8, we had the premiere of the league format. Something really interesting happened in that both Alfaro and Cooper have now had to withdraw for medical reasons. So where does that leave us now?
It's really interesting, this one. I don't think anyone anticipated it at all. So you've got McGreevy and Luke Barr. They're going to fight each other, but they don't just fight each other once. They've got to fight each other twice.
Well, that'd be really interesting seeing how that pans out and what adjustments they make to one another. Okay, but they're both coming in here with 6 points from Victory 8. So potentially what we could see is that they both score the same amount of points again, and we'll get to the end. Well, how do we decide the winner?
Again, another interesting one. So it would be come down to a tie break. So we'll look back and see the scoring of a 10-8 round. If you knocked someone down, then that would be the tiebreaker of who's actually had the more knockdowns within that fight.
So 10-8 rounds and penalties are going to make the tiebreaker in the eventuality of a draw. Okay, so the Women's League, Danny Falls had to withdraw. Who's the replacement?
Alien Siebert is the replacement. She is a Swiss girl, strong girl. She's on quite a good run at the moment, I think, so it's going to be interesting adding to the league.
Okay, so what are the next round of fights for the women's tournament?
So we have Rona Walker's fighting Alien Siebert, and Marie McManaman will fight Meg Caldwell.
So those two are coming in at 0 points, and those two are tied at 4 points. Do the fighters coming in at 0 points have a chance to catch up with those?
Definitely, if Meg and Marie, if they have a close fight and keep drawing, they'll only get 1 point at the end of the fight for a draw.
So a drawn round gets no points for either fighter?
No.
Okay, so probably the most hotly anticipated fight is going to be Barr against McGreevy. How do you see that one panning out?
It's a really hard one to call. After both the performances on the last Victory, both performed very, very well. Both delivered a clinical win. But it's a hard one again because McGreevy's so tall and rangy, scores very well in the clinch, but Barr grinds them down and comes in the clinch and sort of like worms his way through with a strong aggressive clinch rather than a more technical clinch. He just grinds them down and keeps that pressure on. So can McGreevy cope with that, with he's not be able to clinch the way he wants to, but can Barr deal with the height and the range of McGreevy?
Okay, what about the women's fights? I don't know much about Alien Siebert. What do you know about her?
I know she's fought at a very high level for a lot of years. I know she's fought Amy Perney, who was a great fighter, and I think she made a good account of herself on that fight. And also she's fought Danny Fall in 2019.
How do you see Marie and Meg matching up?
After both the performances on the last Victory, they were both very, very good. Marie McManaman, for me, stood out a lot, especially the Nosey Academy at the moment are absolute on fire. But she stuck to a game plan and executed it perfectly.
Yeah, she was very, very disciplined all the way through the whole fight and maintained that pace.
Yeah. She scored very well. You could see between fighter and coach, the bond was phenomenal. She listened to her corner and instructions literally as the Nosey Academy was saying it, she was doing it
Okay, but let's not write off Meg Corwell.
Oh, definitely not. On the other hand, she was absolutely clinical, explosive, fast, and again, her bond with her coach in the corner team was exactly the same as they were saying in instruction. She was delivering it, so it's going to be so interesting to see who picks it up on that day.
Okay, so what about the rest of the card that's coming up for Victory 9?
Yeah, so we've got the 2 prelim fights. We've got Callum Patterson versus Reece Robson.
So they're stepping up to Pro-Am now?
Yeah, Pro-Am. So it's...
What's the difference with Pro-Am to...
So obviously they're going to be doing elbows, knees to the head. Obviously normal Thai boxing, but they've got the pads on, the elbows.
So it's full Thai rules with elbow protection.
And then we've got Hayden Armstrong versus Finley Watson.
Okay, so the Victory 9 main card, what's happening there?
So for the main event, we've got Jake Purdy versus Jack Bullock, which is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Jake Purdy's got a wealth of experience.
But Bullock's going to have to really step his game up to take on a really experienced guy like Purdy.
Yeah, well, obviously Purdy's number 2 in the rankings, so I'm sure Jack's wanting to take that spot off him.
After Joe Welch's last outing on Victory, I'm really excited to see him fight again. Who's he up against?
He's against Lee McHenry. They both train very, very hard, both very, very physically fit, and they've always come to fight, so it's going to be a very, very good night of Thai boxing.
Well, it's been great talking to you again, Reece.
Yeah, as always, Pete. Look forward to Victory 9 on the night, being sat next to you.
We'll see you all in Newcastle on August the 20th.
See you there.